How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So right now we're out on the yak. I'm with brother Danny. He's in the water already, so I'm gonna hop in and join him in a sec. But we're out here on the kayak, gonna do some diving. It's super nice winds today, really nice and flat. And from what we could tell coming out here, the water is super clear, so hopefully we can get on some action. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'll see you guys in the water. Shoot. Alright guys, so right off the rip here, Danny makes a drop down in about 50 feet and manages to nail this really nice sized Moana collie. And he actually spined it. So beautiful first fish to start off the dive. Probably like a good 2-pound collie, something like that. So after that, we went out a little bit deeper, found some really nice structure here. This is probably in about 55, maybe 60 feet at the most. So I'm making my drop here because I had seen a bunch of Ninues and stuff around this big structure, so I was dropping down just to see if anything good was around. And so I hit the bottom here, and I'm looking around, trying to see underneath this rock if there's anything. You can see a few of the Ninues coming around to check me out. And then I look back at this rock and I see a really nice sized knife jaw pop out. Not too big, not too small. And so I watch him dive into this rock here, and I kind of waited a little bit to see if he would circle his way back out. But didn't seem like he was going to do that, and the way he ran over to that other section of the cave made it seem like he was a bit skittish. So now I'm looking inside and I can kind of just barely see him. It's really dark where he's sitting, so you can't really see him on camera. But I'm waiting for him to go over into that part where it's actually light and I can actually line up and get a good shot. And he makes his way over there, so I line up. Point blank range. I wish I had gone with the single band, but managed to put a shot right in his head. Or, sorry, not in his head, but little bit to my right of his head. But he was basically right at the tip of my gun. If I had had my 3-prong, I probably could have got him with the 3-prong. That's how close he was. So, but my first fish of the day, really nice sized knife jaw. And with knife jaws, especially because they can have a tendency to have ciguatera in their meat, I usually like shooting knife jaw when they're about this size. I don't like shooting them when they're too big or too small, obviously. But this guy was a perfect in-between size, maybe like a 4 or 5 pounder. But these guys have really cool colors too. The white spots all over them. They really change colors when they're alive, or sorry, when they die. A lot of these spots come real bright, or they turn white like this. But as far as quality goes and taste goes, they actually are really delicious. For one, I don't see them super often, and also I try not to eat them too often because, like I mentioned about their tendency to have ciguatera, I try to limit how much knife jaw I eat. But one this size, I definitely would not pass up on. Their sauce is really, really good, and also pretty much any way you cook them tastes delicious as well. But after that, Danny went down on a drop and managed to nail this really nice sized moo. Maybe like a 2.5 pounder, something like that. So after Danny shot that moo, I decided to make a drop on a a little bit of more open structure. There is still structure, as you can see, big boulders and stuff like that, but not as much as back where I shot that knife jaw. And Danny had said there was a big school of moose, so I went down and I hit the bottom here, and I try and tuck myself behind this rock because I have a general idea that the moose are in front of me here. I wasn't really looking, but that's kind of where I thought they were gonna be, and so I start dusting here, scratching, grunting, just trying to attract some attention. And I look up here and I see the moose are actually flying in. And so I line up on this guy right here. He wasn't super close, but close enough. And I hit him here, but immediately as soon as I pulled the trigger, I could see that I hit him low. So I still had a good amount of air left, and I was in about maybe 60-65 feet here. So I swim all the way over to him, and I just want to get my hands on him. I don't want to risk trying to pull him up off the bottom because, for one, I just knew my shot was low. I didn't know exactly how low it was, and also I just didn't want to take the chance that he was going to rip off, because this was probably the last move that we were ever going to get a shot at on this dive. And as soon as I got him on in my hands, I realized that he was way bigger than I initially thought he was. In the camera before I shoot him, you can see he doesn't look huge. Maybe like he looks like a good size, maybe like a 4 or 5 pounder. But when I got him in my hands and I actually held him, he ended up being way bigger than I initially thought. And yes, before you guys ask, I am wearing one of my gloves backwards because I couldn't find my actual right hand glove. But yeah, really nice size move. One of the biggest move I've ever shot in my life. If I had to estimate, I would say he's probably 6.5, 7 pounds maybe. Yeah, beautiful fish. Super stoked on. I'm always stoked to land moose because they're usually so hard for me to shoot, and especially a good size one like this on a wahoo does not happen to me very often at all. So I'm always stoked when I land these guys. And also, on top of them being, you know, one of the smartest fish on the reef, they're also absolutely delicious. One of my favorite fish to eat on the reef as well. And so I'm always stoked to land these guys. So after that, we were kind of making a few more drops, but we were nearing the end of the dive because we both got a pretty good amount of fish already. But just for fun, I make a drop here. I hadn't really seen anything crazy from the surface. I saw some small moose, and I pick up this shell and I start scratching the bottom, trying to see if that will bring the moo in. Start throwing up more sand. I look up and I see a bunch of smaller moo, kind of not coming super close, but creeping their way over. And I'm just looking around, seeing if anything else is coming in, like any ukus or anything like that. You can see some small moos right there, some baby-sized ones. But none of them really seemed big enough to shoot, and they weren't super close to me anyway. And so I'm about to start going up, but then this big omilu comes sailing over my head. He comes well within range here, and then his partner comes around, but I thought about shooting them for a second or trying to call them back, but they were already on their way out. And also, like I mentioned earlier, I already had that moo, the knife jaw. Danny got that moo and the moanakali, and so we were pretty set on fish, and a big omilu like that would have been just unnecessary. But yeah, super action dive. Super stoked. Woo!
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
That's a big move. Big move. Whoa. Bigger than Zach's whole body. Alright guys, so I just got back to my place. I left all the fish at Daddy's because I just came back home so I could take a shower, take a quick nap, and then I'm gonna head right back over to Danny's house. We're gonna clean all the fish. We got the knife jaw, the moo, Danny's moo, and then also his wanakali. And we're probably gonna just do stuff with the moos and the kali, and then I'll cook the knife jaw on my own time. But I'm gonna try out this recipe that I haven't tried myself personally, but for those of you guys who haven't seen this video, a long time ago I did a video with the YouTube channel Fishing Girls. I bet all of you guys have heard of those guys, and they made this really delicious seared moo, flash seared moo, and it tasted absolutely insane. So I'm gonna try it. I'm not as good a chef as Chevy is by any means, but we're gonna give it a shot and hopefully it turns out all right. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll see you at Danny's house. Shoot.
Scale these.
Dude, this thing is freaking.
No bueno?
If it's not my biggest, it's definitely close.
Yeah.
Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Super action dive, took advantage of some really nice weather and sent the yak out. And we managed to get on some really nice fish, including Danny's collie and his moo, and then the moo that I shot, which is one of the biggest, if not the biggest moos I've ever shot in my life. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a weight on it because neither me nor Danny has a scale, and so I wasn't about to go out of my way just to try and weigh this thing, but still a super nice fish regardless of if it's my biggest moo or not. And I love eating moo. The seared moo came out delicious. Not as good as Chevy's by any means, but still came out pretty good. And also I got that really nice knife jaw as well. So overall, just a really nice dive and a really awesome catch and cook to follow. Real quick before I sign out, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Danny. If you guys want to check out his stuff, he's a great spear fisherman, but he's also a professional photographer. So if you guys want to check out his work, I will leave his Instagram in the description below. He does some really sick photo shoots, so go check that out if you guys want. But yeah, that's basically all I got for you guys today. Remember, if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps out my channel a ton, and I appreciate all of you guys that have already done so. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. See you in the next one. Shoot!